Hannah's and them. Do you know that you are the ones responsible for paying their salaries? And I just want to big up my friend Star for highlighting that in the comment section in the last episode. But we don't just help to pay the officers' salaries alone. We also help to pay public servants. There are some public servants, they meet you on the road. They don't even say good morning or good afternoon. They just pass you straight. And when you walk in through the establishments where they work, they put on the largest pretensive smiles just to greet you, not knowing that your monies are the ones paying them. So when the big man comes on and he says that some crazies are following a sorting person, isn't that an insult? Those same persons are the ones paying the big man's salary, so they don't have a voice to speak up. You see, and that is why we are now asking him to step down because we put him there and he's trying to insult us. Do you know that a percentage of the population is unemployed too because of their attitudes? You see, the previous administration built some community centers in which youths could have gone and learned skills, but the new administration added to those they created some things called the technical institutes, what the youths used to call a center back in the day. First time, as you left the seniors, you would go on to the centers to learn trade. You see, some of those programs are free of cost. But a lot of ghetto youths tend to watch Pride. Imagine persons that went to the community college and to the technical college are going to the technical institute. But it have some persons who didn't even go to college are refusing to go and learn a skill. We left school a long time ago. But we never stop reading because we know that reading is knowledge and knowledge is power. You know how exciting it feels when you see the elders going for their degrees. Just recently, there was an article that was posted in which a fella from the Grenadine Island said that he was thrown out of school and he went and worked, put himself back to school, excelled, went to foreign and went for his degree. Let me show you something about having a skill. You see things like plumbing, electrical installation and those things. Eventually you would become your own boss if you want to, if you have a determination. You see, in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the most jobs that one might get from the government are things like police officers, teachers, and nurses. If we check the statistics, you would know that is true. You see, this is what happens. If you know the big man personally, you would be appointed very fast. But if you don't, you'd have to hold on until someone retires to get a position. Or if you are good at licking boots and you know someone who has ranks with the big man, you can go ahead and lick boots and occupy that position. It's up to you if you wanna fall short for certain things. But you see, the bad thing about licking boots, when they go, you go as well. I've seen persons being put in a position since this administration came into office and they haven't done anything to step up. They didn't even go back to classes to get certain qualifications. Nothing they did. All they do is just lick boots and carry people name around. You remember in the previous episode, I was telling you about the road work that the big man normally gives. And just recently, they paid us some money from those jobs. And come to the Monday, some of those poor sons don't even have a penny cut into halves. It have some people would say they don't want to get their hands dirty, so they don't want to be masons, they don't want to be carpenters, they don't want to be electricians, and they don't want to be plumbers. So what the big man should do, he should draft up some papers showing the salaries that some of those men make. You see, a lot of these young men in the force right now, they don't want to be officers, but because they know the benefits that come with being an officer, and some banks would spin you around if you are not a public servant. We have to start somewhere. We can't just sit back and say, oh, things would get better. We ourselves have to get up and do something. The good book says, Jah help those who help themselves. And I noticed that for real, when we were younger, it had some guys used to come out on the corner very early in the morning. And you knew the advantage those guys had when they were there standing. It have men that needed other guys to come work with them as laborers. And because they were the first ones on the corner, the guys would tell them, come for a job immediately. And they would get the job first. Let me tell you something. What Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, and Steve Jobs and Warren Buffett had in common. They all woke up early because the start of the day determines the outcome most of the time. You can't want to apply for a job and come 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock. You have to come out early. Early bird catches the most worms. The editor of The Voice of the Jamaican Ghetto, one Adija Palmer, said that me watch my father work 7 days a week. So hard work is it easy for me. Jesus was a carpenter, chained by his father Joseph. And many fathers in the Vincent ghettos need to start stepping up to their roles and being more of a father to these youths, guide them along the way. So it have youths with the mindset that want to be exactly like their fathers. It have youths that would say, my daddy a bad man, so me want to be bad man too. It have those who would say, my daddy a teacher, I want to be a teacher. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a doctor. You see, it have some fathers that we knew were bad men. When me tell you bad man, I kind of bust up purple all over the place. But they spoke to their youths and said, youth, learn a skill, get educated, don't follow in my footsteps. A lot of the monies that the big man is wasting to fulfill his personal agendas could go to helping some youths in the ghetto. You walk around the ghetto, you do house-to-house assessment, and you say, would you like to set up a small business? Some of these youths won't be able to manage that money. So what you do, you give them the things to start the business, and then you monitor the businesses. We saw a video from a young lady on API, and that young lady was saying that she is a goat farmer. And there are persons that want to do things like that, but they don't have any help, especially when we live in a one-sided island. Lots of volcanic eruptions, floods, lahars, extreme poverty, lies from the big man and his team, mismanagement of funds, no accountability. How do we get back up? Public servants, you heard with your own ears that they said that they wouldn't be able to pay salaries. And now the volcano relief money come in, they can pay you now. You have to be an independent thinker sometimes, You have to look at the situation for yourself and stop putting party over country and put country over the party. I must applaud persons like Lava Man at Paradise Adventure. Because you see, they are youths with a vision. What these youths are doing, they know that eventually it will come to a point that the volcano would cease down, and they are already preparing themselves, spending from their own pockets and getting assistance from persons to try to expand their business, because just now tourists would be coming in. You think Sandals Resort doesn't know that? We have to be prepared. There would also be a time that we would stop receiving financial aid. And that's why I continue to thank all the persons who are donating. Because some persons are not only donating food and monies, they are donating things so that persons can start businesses to get back on their feet. But some of the persons are selling the items. Arrowroot farmers were paid, and that's correct. But the persons are not in the red zone planting arrowroot right now, so that might go scarce for a while. So let's say for now that the arrowroot factory is done. What else can the people depend on to say yes, they have a factory? Come 2021, and St. Vincent still looks and feels like in the 80s. To be honest, what has changed so far in St. Vincent? Be real with you yourselves. The structure of the buildings, that's all. The employment that was created, or no mass employment wasn't created, because some persons from the previous administration was sent home to accommodate those from the new administration. Would St. Vincent ever have any athletes on the podium at the Olympic finals in the 100, 200 and 400 receiving any medals at all? The whole of St. Vincent needs a shake-up right now. Just the way the Shaker Baptist handles things, because nothing seems to be going forward. With that being said, we just want to big up the entire population in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the regional islands and the international countries who are supporting and praying for us during these difficult times. Please continue to do what you guys are doing. You are helping out St. Vincent. But as I said before, the big man needs accountability, and everyone needs to get